The U.S. will vote tomorrow to elect its 47th president in a fierce race between Republican nominee Donald Trump and Democratic leader Kamala Harris. Well, this election is expected to be one of the closest contests for the White House in decades. Both candidates have left no stone unturned to win over voters, particularly in key swing states. To win the election, a candidate needs 270 electoral college votes. The last opinion polls indicate that the outcome will be decided by results in 7 battleground states: Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. Republican candidate on former President Trump rallied in Kinston, North Carolina, and targeted his opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris, by saying that she has no vision, no ideas, and no solution. That her only message is blaming him for various issues. On the other hand, Democratic presidential candidate Harris vowed to end the ongoing war in Gaza, bring home hostages, and ensure Israel's security along with the Palestinian people's right to dignity and self-determination. She made these remarks while addressing an election rally in Michigan. Well, the remarks by Harris came at a rally in Michigan just days before the U.S. presidential elections. During her rally, Harris also emphasized the need for a new generation of leadership in America, vowing to fight for the people and make healthcare a right, not a privilege. Meanwhile, polling in the U.S. will begin tomorrow between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. local time. As the country has multiple time zones, this roughly falls between 5:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. in India. Most polling stations in the U.S. close between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, which falls between 5:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. in India on Wednesday, November 6th. Voting in battleground states will also close between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, these 7 battleground states are Pennsylvania, Nevada, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Results are expected to come in as soon as polling closes at local time in respective states. According to reports, several states in the western part of the U.S. will continue to vote while results in the eastern states start coming in. Meanwhile, with polls prediction showing that this will be a close U.S. presidential election, security forces across the capital are on high alert. Just few hours for voting to begin tomorrow, workers were seen putting up additional security measures outside the White House and the official residence of the Vice President. Outside the White House, which already has a fence and barricades, workers were putting up additional fencing to create a wider and closer perimeter. Secret Service agents guarded the building. Tourists took photographs and said they enjoyed being in Washington, D.C. and experiencing the excitement of the election. Almost 3 miles away, workers were installing fencing outside the official residence of the Vice President, the U.S. Naval Observatory, where Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris lives. Well, this election cycle, some campaign speeches have contained violent rhetoric, and courts around the country have been inundated with pre-election litigation. Meanwhile, Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris made her closing pitch for the U.S. presidency at a rally in East Lansing, Michigan on Sunday. Harris addressed Michigan's 2 lakh Arab Americans, starting her speech with a nod to civilian victims of Israel's conflict with Hamas in Gaza and Hezbollah in Lebanon. Harris faces skepticism from some who are frustrated that she has not done more to help end the war in Gaza and scale back aid to Israel. Harris's Republican rival Donald Trump visited Dearborn, Michigan, the heart of the Arab American community, on Friday and vowed to end the conflict in the Middle East without saying how. However, Harris did not mention Trump's name during the 25-minute speech, only referring to certain individuals.
want to say this year has been difficult, given the scale of death and destruction in Gaza, and given the civilian casualties and displacement in Lebanon. It is devastating. And as president, I will do everything in my power to end the war in Gaza. To bring home the hostages, end the suffering in Gaza, ensure Israel is secure, and ensure the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, freedom, security, and self-determination.
And in a video released on Sunday, Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris urged people to make a plan to vote ahead of Election Day.
Hey everyone, Election Day is Tuesday, November 5th. And yes, this race is going to be tight, but we are going to win. And one of the reasons why is you're going to vote. I know you are. So make sure you fill out your ballot. I did mine. I'm going to put it in the mail. And we are going to make sure that we fight together for the promise of America. And if you haven't yet, please make a plan to vote. Figure out where you're going to vote, when you're going to vote, and go to iwillvote.com if you have any questions about your polling place or your registration status. I'll see you out there, and thank you.
Opinion polls show the pair locked in a tight race, with Vice President Harris bolstered by strong support among women voters, while former President Trump gains ground with Hispanic voters, especially men. Well, voters overall view both candidates unfavorably, according to Reuters polling, but that so far has not dissuaded them from casting ballots. More than 76 million Americans have already done so ahead of Tuesday's Election Day, according to the University of Florida's Election Lab, approaching half the total of 160 million votes cast in 2020, in which U.S. voter turnout was the highest in more than a century. Meanwhile, Republican Donald Trump also made his last pitch for support in Pennsylvania on Sunday, the largest of the 7 states expected to decide this week's U.S. presidential election. Trump repeatedly criticized the U.S. election process and the early voting system and said the results of the election should be determined by the end of Election Day tomorrow. Trump's claims have raised concerns that he is preparing to again blame a potential loss in Pennsylvania, escalating concerns in a state that could tip the outcome of the race.
They are fighting so hard to steal this damn thing. Look at what's going on. Look at what's going on in your state. Every day, they're talking about extending hours and stuff. Who ever heard of this stuff? We should have one-day voting and paper ballots. It's a damn shame. And I'm the only one that talks about it because everyone's afraid to damn talk about it. And then they accuse you of being a conspiracy theorist. These are conspiracy, and they want to lock you up. They want to put you in jail. The ones that should be locked up are the ones that cheat on these horrible elections that we go through in our country. And I don't know what's going to happen, but for future elections, I won't be even a part of it. But you ought to damn well go to paper ballots. You ought to go to voter ID. And you ought to have the election over by 9 o'clock. I'm hearing now they're going to take weeks. Can you imagine? They spend all this money on machines, and they're going to say, we may take an extra 12 days to determine. And what do you think happens during that 12 days? What do you think happens? These elections have to be decided by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock on Tuesday night. Bunch of crooked people. These are crooked people.
The Republican presidential candidate also promised party time after tomorrow's election, where he too beats Democrat Kamala Harris, focusing on immigration at his last rally in Georgia yesterday. Well, the event at an open-air amphitheater in Macon was the third visit to a swing state after Pennsylvania and North. He opened his speech with a long passage blaming Harris for the arrival of migrants via the southern border and painting a bleak picture of a trail of violent crime.
We stand and say, and I'm proud to be an American, wearing these stand next to you and remember. Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man, pick yourself off the ground. I said, young man, 'cause you're in a new town. There's no need to be unhappy, young man.
But all I can say is on Tuesday, just go out and vote, and we're going to close this thing out, and it's going to be party time. It's going to be party time. And this is really all you need to know. Kamala broke it, and I'll fix it, and we'll do it very quickly. She has violated her oath, eradicated our sovereign border, and unleashed an army of gangs and criminal migrants. I mean, we have migrants pouring in here by the tens of thousands that are criminals from jails, from mental institutions, terrorists. So with your vote on Tuesday, we're going to fire Kamala, and we are going to save America. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices, raise your wages, and bring thousands of factories back to America and back to the good old state of Georgia.
And churches across Ohio have been using their sermons to promote the power of voting during Sunday services. With the final day of early voting took place on Sunday, churches were making an additional effort to get their congregations to the polls. Well, Pastor Dr. Scotty L. Aaron from the Friendship Baptist Church in Columbus spoke at length during his sermon about the power of voting. While he was speaking, voting signs popped up in the congregation.
We take voting very seriously. Every Sunday this month, I've taken out some time in the midst of our worship service to explain to our members how so many of our ancestors, our forefathers have died for this right, have given up so much that we must make our voice known. And we do that at the ballot box. There's so many issues that's on the ballot, whether you're Democratic or Republican. I think it's all of our right to vote, especially here at our church. We definitely stress the importance of getting out to vote.
The education that's provided through the church helps individuals connect the dots between what this vote means and how it impacts everything they do in their livelihood, in their households. So it's critically important. So we encourage people to go. Cast that vote, take the time. This is your civic responsibility.
I would say that church is really what sets your moral foundation so that when you do become of age to enter politics and to be involved, you understand how to evaluate a candidate on more than just, their rhetoric, right? Their lifestyle, like what are they doing, what are they saying, who are they friends with? And so I think that has really been the biggest lesson from church.
If star power and celebrity endorsement could swing the U.S. presidential elections 2024, Kamala Harris will have it in the bag. In a dazzling display of celebrity support, Lady Gaga is trading her mic for a megaphone this election season, bringing her star power to the political stage. On Sunday, the pop icon endorsed the Harris Waltz campaign, rallying her 57.5 million followers with the powerful message, "Get ready to vote." Katy Perry will be energizing the crowd in Pittsburgh, while Lady Gaga, in her signature dramatic style, is set to take the stage at the iconic Rocky Steps in front of the Philadelphia Museum of Art today, according to Billboard. Gaga could not help but share her excitement on Instagram, where she posted a video message urging everyone to get ready to vote, adding, "I'll see you guys in Pennsylvania." Though she kept her message short, the caption, "Harris Walls 2024," left no doubts about her endorsement.
It's time to get ready to vote. I'll see you guys in Pennsylvania. It's time to get ready to vote. I'll see you guys in Pennsylvania.